What is up, guys? TK here with TNCUnion.com, and today I want to talk a little bit about how you're able to protect yourself in the event that Uber, this probably goes the same for Lyft, deactivates you with no due process, doesn't tell you anything, and we're going to get into a little bit of story time. I'm going to tell you a little bit of a story, and we're going to get into that. So for those that were asking, if you follow my other channel, Rideshare Millionaire, this is one of the salvage Kias that we're building. We'll put all three together, and this one goes on the trailer to go back with the other three. And instead of building that car, it looks like we're going to end up trading these cars for Range Rover for a girl, but we'll get into that later. Let's get into the story time part. So for you guys that have been following me for a long time, from other channels, you guys would probably know that at one point in time, my introduction to Uber was as a car owner, or a fleet owner is what it's really called in the business. And I had an Audi A8L and a BMW 760 that I ran in the Miami market that I basically leased out to other Uber drivers to run Uber Black. That was my introduction to Uberman, which you may have seen on YouTube. If you haven't yet, go check out his channel. Just type in Uberman in the search bar, go find his channel and hit that sub button. So, one of these, so my driver's name was Alexi. Alexi came in one morning and says, you know, I got terminated. I can't drive. It won't let me go online. It says my account needs attention. And when we contacted Uber, Uber stated that my driver, who rarely talks to any of the passengers, he does Uber Black. And if you've done Uber Black before, you know that a lot of these customers that order Uber Black from the airport are pretentious assholes. And they really don't like to talk to drivers anyway. Sometimes they do, but for the most part, they're a bunch of dicks. It just is what it is. So, supposedly this female had claimed that my driver had, and I apologize if it's shaking, guys. I got you guys mounted in the car. Had claimed that my driver had rubbed her leg or made her feel uncomfortable, and they terminated Alexi for sexual misconduct. Sucks to be that passenger, because we log and save dash cam footage on both of those cars every single day. So when Alexi would bring the car in at the end of the day, or whenever he got done driving, I would literally pull that SD card. It was a 256 gigabyte SD card from Samsung. I would take that SD card and slap it into the computer and save it onto a 2 terabyte hard drive. And then when that would get filled, would actually load it onto OneDrive or Microsoft Cloud. So, anyways, I digress. So, Uber did not want to work with Alexi. It was not up for negotiation. He was terminated with no due process, no ability to defend himself. Uber did not give a fuck that we had the video. Uber did not care that he really did not assault this woman. They did not care about the driver at all. And this was kind of like my first wake-up call into how drivers were dealt with in rideshare. Like how, you know, yes, you're a contractor, but they didn't give a fuck about you at all. And this was, you're their bread and butter, right? So seeing all of this and seeing the issues, I was like, well, what can we do? What changes could I do, or what could I do to try to get Alexi his, I don't even want to call it a job, but get him the ability to be able to drive my car again, right? He was a great person. I got my percentage of whatever he drove every day. He hustled hard. First generation immigrant from Russia, good kid. I was like, this is crazy. And after I reviewed the footage and saw that this was strictly bullshit, I wasn't going to let him go down and lose his only source of income. So what we devised was we were going to go ahead and file a small claim suit. Now this is super effective against Uber. Uber is not going to like this video, and I'm going to tell you why. Uber can't be everywhere all the time, especially in courts. They're in enough courts as it is, because they're getting sued left and right. But especially small claims courts. Now they get served just like anybody else, and they have notice to be there. 90% of the time, they don't show up. So I had my driver, I talked to my attorney, and I had a small claims thing drawn up. Now, depending on what market you're in will determine how much you can sue for. Now, in Dade County in Miami, it's a $9,800 limit, which I think just changed in the legislature, by the way, too. But at the time, it was $9,800 that you could sue for in small claims court, which that's exactly what we had him go after. He claimed that, no due process, the whole nine, terminated, loss of income, blah, 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 blah. Anyways, 3 days later, judge finds in his favor, nobody shows up for Uber, default judgment, have a nice day. We immediately take that, we go to my attorney hires a collection agency and tries to collect the judgment. Guess what happens then? All of a sudden, Uber wants to work with my driver. All of the sudden, Uber is so sad that it got to this point that they want to fix it, and they're going to fix it right now. And what do? They reactivated his account the same day, wrote him a long email that apologized, but then they asked him not to try to collect the judgment. Fuck you. Fuck that. I told him, no, you collect the judgment. We had the collection agency go after Uber. Uber had to pay the judgment. And after the collection agency fee of like $150, whatever it was, my driver got paid about $9,500 and some change for Uber's fuck up. After they saw the video and the whole nine, they still didn't terminate the rider for lying about a sexual assault. That drove me mad. Now, I advised my driver at that point that he probably should have sued the passenger. We were able to get the passenger's name in discovery when Uber wanted to try to push to overturn the judgment. The judge wasn't having it. So I'm happy that we went through a local state court, because those judges in district and circuit courts are elected. And elected judges, boy, they're not going to screw the small guy that's in their area that may be making a six-figure income and can donate to their campaign, when a big, massive corporation doesn't give a fuck about them. Ding! So anyways, small claims lawsuits against Uber are very effective. So much so that it gets their fucking attention. If you get terminated, if you got terminated because you only like to drive surge, you're an independent contractor. You can drive whenever you want. If Uber is trying to tell you that you have to drive at certain times or in certain areas, or take a passenger like they're doing now, because you don't want to go to the south side of Chicago, or maybe you don't want to go to a certain area in DC, or maybe you're in Manhattan and you don't want to go to, south side Jamaica, Queens. Hey man, you have the ability to decline those trips, and if you decide, hey, that's too far from me or that's out of my way, Uber can't tell you otherwise, even though they are sending notices to drivers saying that if they keep declining trips like this after they get started, that they will terminate them. That's against the terms of service. Uber knows it, but they're going to try to do everything they can to get away with everything that they can, as long as you let them. So don't do that. Anyways, I hope this video was informative. I hope it helps you out. Make sure to subscribe here to tncunion.com and on the YouTube channel TNC Union. Hit that subscribe button, hit the thumbs up, spread the word, get a free membership at TNC Union by subscribing. The membership benefits of being a union member here in the rideshare industry is phenomenal, and I'll tell you why. When you do get screwed by Uber or Lyft, and it could happen at any time, we and the team will be the ones that will be in the corner to be there to represent you, to help you, and to give you the resources that you need. So join the team today and start telling Uber, Lyft, and the rest of these rideshare companies that they got to spec rideshare drivers and treat you right. Until next time, I'll catch you guys in the next video.